Take off the.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. Thank you for attending the 98th episode of Breaking the Base. We've got a very special episode for England to do for a while now. Unfortunately, Ken will not be joining us, because normally we have it on Tuesdays, but we got it. Normally we have them on Thursdays, but we're gonna do an episode now on Tuesday and Thursday, trying to get it to where it comes. We put up two. We do it twice a week. I hope y'all enjoy the background. It took me like 10 minutes to do, and it looks awesome. I don't think it was 30. But anyway, with me is Madam B, and we're going to be talking.
Hello.
Talking about the best and worst Stephen King movies. Now, when we say movies, we are going to include the miniseries, which I kind of want to do a different video, but we'll just put them in there anyway. And we all know Stephen King is just badass horror author. He's done fantasy adventure as well. He's done some dramas too, but mainly known for his horror books. And of course, the guy's so famous, they had to adapt a lot of his novels into the movies, which for the most part are actually pretty good. So without further ado, let us get on with this conversation. Madam B, what are your take on the Stephen King movies? Which one is your absolute favorite, if you can name one?
An absolute favorite. I have an absolute favorite. But let's see. I did like his miniseries Rose Red.
Mm-hmm.
It was good. It kind of pulled me in a little bit. It was kind of creepy, but it was good.
Nah, you're right. That was a creepy movie.
His old works, of course, the Carrie, 1976 Carrie.
Did not realize how good that movie was until I watched the. That was all right. Could have been better.
It could have, yeah.
Go back and see the original Carrie. I was like, man, this is actually a good movie. But this is one thing I will say the remake had over the original.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually gave exposition about the mom. That was one thing I did enjoy. To see what she was going through. So I actually like that. They're gonna laugh at you.
Okay, and I don't know if any folks have seen this or even know about it. I did like the second one, not the reboot, the Rage Carrie 2. Either it was her cousin or someone kin to Carrie. It was about Rachel. That was a good one. I like that one.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, so it's kind of hard to pick an absolute favorite when it comes to Stephen King, but the Rage Carrie 2 and Needful Things, 1993 Needful Things. That something growing up, it was like, okay, mom put it in. So we pretty much had to watch her to go in the room. So yeah, we kind of got used to it. But Needful Things
fixed it. Yes. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but Needful Things is the movie itself delves into the minds of people and what they think and stuff like that. Narik?
I gotta say, my favorite. I say two. My absolute two favorites is the It that came out this year. The It 2017. Misery is my. I'm sorry, Misery is my shit. I love Misery. Misery loves company, and I like watching that movie too, man. That movie was hard. It did touch on some tones about people getting obsessed about this and stuff, as well as having like really bad issues. But it was actually pretty funny too. I'm sorry, my boy was up there ready.
Okay, I'll tell you which part that my dad liked, and you tell me your part. Go ahead. You tell me your favorite part in that movie.
I still say my favorite part was when poisoned her in that drink, and she knocked it over, and the way he just looked at her was just hilarious. Funny is, I can still watch it to this day and still be laughing. That and the part where she kind of snapped off a little bit, and he was like, "Wow!" That's when we first started noticing it. He was like, "This chick is crazy." But yeah, that's my unless you want to go for that one.
I do know what other part you're talking about, but the part that my dad liked was, of course, when she broke his ankles and the way his feet just went in and
like. So what they didn't tell you and what you find out later is that was real. That really happened. Oh,
okay, but I do know the other part you're talking about. So,
what? That one was hard. It twisted. Oh, I can't say those. Yeah, that is my that Misery. My movie. Misery is a movie, and I like the It movie. It was really good. And there been some pretty cool movies along the way too. I finally saw Shawshank Redemption, who was in falsely accused going to jail, and what he had to do to survive in jail. It was actually pretty good, with a good cast. The ending was epic. It was a pretty good epic ending, and it felt really grounded because it wasn't like supernatural or nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
Actually a pretty good story, and I really enjoyed it. In fact, I think that's one of the few movies I've actually liked that guy in. Mm-hmm. Morgan Freeman did an absolutely good job too. Who is this guy? That's Tim Robbins. I really didn't ever too much care for him as an actor, but that movie actually I liked him in. Kind of reminds me of Brendan Fraser.
Okay. Okay. What about Christine? Have you seen that?
We watched it together. Remember?
We watched Christine together.
Yeah, remember the dude was running down the street, and he was running like this, and then the car was on fire. But I can't remember what we watched it on. We watched it because remember the boy started snapping at his dad, and I was like, "Why is dad just don't punch him in his damn mouth?"
Okay. Okay. Well, what did you think about the movie?
I actually liked the movie. That's one of them, because again, thanks to you. Like, I was surprised at how good the movie was. Mm-hmm. Some of the acting could be a little bit phoned in, and some of the effects, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, it was 1980.
Yeah, but it's actually a pretty good movie. I think the part that had the best effects was when the car was repairing itself.
Yeah.
That right there was pretty good. I'm sorry, that one part where it was running down, the dude was running down the road, and then the car was chasing. You could tell the car was like in cruise. It was going like 5 hours, but it was actually a pretty good movie. So I actually thoroughly enjoyed that.
I like the way they making it like a person that's being scary or a dead thing. You can actually make it a vehicle that to be scared of. So that's good.
Mm-hmm. And what was the one where the car smashed into that gas station and exploded?
Okay. Yeah. Okay, what I really want to say was I was looking at Christine, but I was gonna say Cujo, but then I just said Christine anyway. So okay, I know you saw Cujo.
It's been so long. I remember that movie Man's Best Friend more than I remember Cujo.
Okay, I saw Man's Best Friend too. So you don't remember none of Cujo?
I remember it was one part they was stuck in the car.
Stuck in the car for like pretty much most of the movie. He got bat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he got bit by diseased bat. The thing about it was
so they had like rabies?
And the thing about it was, it could actually happen. So it's not nothing to, I mean, something to be scared of, but it can actually happen. But a dog that big, and then that woman was so small, and then her child, like that can actually happen. She had to figure out how to get up out of the situation and how to survive, without pissing off Cujo more. He was already gone in the head.
Okay, I just thought, I ain't seen it in so long. I thought it was just like the dog was like a crackhead or something.
No, he got bit by a rabid bat, and
radioactive bat became super dog.
Just kind of went from there. So I kind of like the way it went.
That dog looks like something fierce. I gotta talk about this movie, and I said it before the video.
Okay.
I did not like The Shining. It says The Shining was supposed to be the hallmark of horror movies and all of that stuff. Did not like the movie. And it wasn't really about the actors and nothing like that, because the lady, I liked her performance. I thought she had a nice character.
Mm-hmm.
The boy, the kid was all right. Jack Nicholson, his main character, I didn't like because watching it was like the dude was like a dick from the jump. Like he was not smiling or nothing,
mm-hmm.
and it was like you would think when they were a happy family, they got over what happened.
Mm-hmm.
They were a happy family, moved into the hotel, then everything kind of goes to shit.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem was, the way I seen it was like, no, they weren't happy anyway. Because what was it? He was in the car the whole time. He's like this.
Okay, yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like there was no chemistry. I know people didn't like the remake, but I told you I liked it. Mm-hmm. In terms of storytelling. It did a better way of storytelling because they were a happy family. Mm-hmm. It started going downhill.
Right. And at the end, the dad turned out to be somebody, I wouldn't say cool, but he changed from good in the beginning, then like in the middle of the movie things went to hell, but at the end it just died.
No, in that one I would say I didn't like that ending.
Why?
I like the Jack Nicholson ending better.
So replace the Jack Nicholson ending with the 1 and 2.
Because it was like it drove the guy too far, but in this one, yeah, I do like the fact that he seemed to struggle with it more in this one. Mm-hmm. And I could actually believe him. Like, okay, at the end of it, he actually overcame it.
Okay,
I can believe that, but it's just the one with Jack Nicholson was actually more badass. I'm sorry, he was chasing the little boy. That boy went hard. I mean, that was a better one badass meme from that.
Okay, him being frozen. Yeah.
That boy like.
Okay.
But I would say the remake did a better. And then, like I told you, all the supernatural stuff and all of that, like it wasn't explained. It was like, okay, seeing this stuff. Nobody else has seen this crap and all of this. And then all of a sudden with him, and then it was like the stuff was random and it didn't feel connected.
Okay, so do you wish they would have? Okay, and at the end of in the picture with all the other settlers. So, what did you want them to delve into that more, or him to have a little flashback or something?
No, the way I figured it was, okay, he died there, so now he's a part of the ghosts that haunt the place.
Okay.
And I guess the picture is actually everybody that I guess I don't want to say died there, but
yeah, they did.
Oh, okay. Well, they died there. One part, was it in the remake or was it in the movie?
That was the first one.
Okay, but it was like that was so like unexplained, and didn't they say something about a mob hit or something? I don't know. It just like all the stuff that was happening didn't feel connected to some extent. The second one, because I remember the second one the remake did mention something.
Came alive.
I remember one of the things I didn't like in the remake was like the supernatural stuff like started jumping off as soon as they got there. Oh, and plus the black guy, like the whole shining thing. First one, I did like him. I liked him better than the guy in the remake. But I got mad because he died off, but he was like, he didn't do anything. And I'm like, at least the one in the remake, he didn't die. He actually kind of did something. Hey, this boy in trouble. Let me go help him. Go up in there. Pop. That's it. I was like, God, dog. So that was like one of the issues I had with that. I said the mom and the son, them. Okay, I like them. Jack Nicholson character, I didn't like. Okay. The whole, like, I will say in both of them, but I think the first one did this better. It was the hotel. So when people were in certain areas, it felt very isolated. Okay. All the way. Yeah. That's like one of those places where if you're in there, it has that weird silence that's like a very high pitch. Mm-hmm. I will say the first one did have more atmosphere. Okay. It did have a lot more atmosphere.
All right, even though we did discuss this movie in another video.
Oh yeah.
Yes, we did. Well, I'm about to say Storm of the Century.
Oh, I thought you were talking about what we were just talking about.
No, okay. So you gotta wait till I get it all out.
Okay, I'll shut up. Century was pretty good too. It's one of those slow. It's pretty slow, but it was actually pretty good. I kind of wish I would like to see that It movie. I kind of want to see them do the Storm of the Century that way. It was a slow movie, but it's like, what could you do with like better effects? But it was actually pretty good.
Would it be a good TV series?
Yeah, that way. It would probably be like a 12 episode.
Maybe.
And then, like
because there were a lot of from those who stayed on the island, and they tried to, in that 2-part, they tried to pack them in and some sort of personalities together, so quick. But it was really all about just and the boy. So so he already knew, of course, who he was gonna pick.
Hey, that Storm of the Century went hard. My boy Lanoche, he on point. Armani suit on with that Pimp Daddy cane. Then he kept doing that thing. We were like, oh snaps! Like that was pretty cool. Disagree with you about if you have to sacrifice your son. And I'm like, no, I can always have another child. Love you. And we waving to him.
Wow. Okay, we dealt with that in the video. Okay. 1995, The Langoliers.
I like it, but it's one of those movies. It's like it's a slow build, and I kind of don't like the whole Langolier aspect. I mean, I don't know if it's about them being isolated or is it about them dealing with the Langoliers, because the majority of the time, isolation and the characters and stuff, and it's like in the last 15 minutes you see the Langoliers.
All right. The girl, okay, ouch.
The Dinah?
Yeah, the girl on the plane and what's the dude? The crazy, Craig. Hey,
Mr. Toomey?
Yeah, Mr. Toomey.
Whatever the guy name was.
Yeah. Okay, it's like he already knew what the Langoliers were. He kept kind of unstable.
Yeah, he had psychological abuse from his dad.
Yeah.
But I would like to know, like, okay, with the Langoliers, did he create the Langoliers? Reality or whatever, did he actually create them? Because it's like, how could his dad know about the Langoliers? But the dad, the one that kept telling him about him.
Mm-hmm. And then the whole, okay, who was asleep on the plane, they disappeared, or everybody?
No, everybody was awake. Everybody was asleep was the ones that made it there.
And then at the end, you see the Langoliers just eating away at the
eating.
I guess whatever that what do you call them places?
Airport?
No, the other dimension, I guess.
Well, they said that was like an echo dimension, like it was the past, and the Langoliers eat the past, but they happen to be in the past. Like, here you go. Mm-hmm. Sending them a few minutes into the past and out of sync.
Okay. Okay, so when they
see, creatures that feed. Bob calls these Craig's Langoliers creatures that feed which is past. I don't know. See, well, maybe that's symbolic because okay, his daddy couldn't have known about those things. And it's like, and plus look how it says it. Mm-hmm. Bob calls these Craig's Langoliers.
Okay. So does that mean that his past is that it?
I don't know.
It's strange, folks. But if you do know, please tell us. Anyway.
I just thought it messed up that girl died. Stephen King, you bastard. Now, if that was not in the book, no, it wasn't in the book because Langoliers ain't got no book. That's the original movie. Okay, Stephen King, you bastard. that young girl, the best character died.
Okay, and at the end, the children spot their parents calling them out as the arrival of the new people.
All I know is my boy Mr. Toomey got his in the end, which was messed up. There pieces of paper, eyes rolling in the back of my head too. Like, Stephen King just comes on with stuff.
What else? What else? Your turn.
Of course, I'm going to bring up a movie that you haven't seen, but I've seen, and I have thoroughly enjoyed it, and I should have included it in my top 3. The Mist.
Okay. And what do you like about The Mist?
Everything. It has psychological elements to it, especially with the breakdown of society, these people that are in this market. Also, the external elements such as the mist and the creatures that are in the mist. And I do like the fact that the creatures are not evil. They're just animals displaced from their natural habitat.
Okay.
And just happen to be able to kill people and everything. So I think it's an original idea. And as much, like I said, I do like the whole aspect when it comes to the people and how people started believing this religious woman, and how these people have to not only deal with.
And it was so good of an idea they made a TV series.
And the TV series, I'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that some other time. But I'm not going to say the TV series was bad. I ain't gonna lie, I was disappointed because there wasn't no monsters. It's a television series. You know, you told me about that. Silver Bullet. It's been a minute since I watched that movie, but I do remember that there was this werewolf attacking this. That was killing people in this town. And this boy in a wheelchair ended up discovering who it was, and with the help of his uncle, who was played by Predator 2, the guy that was the douchebag that was trying to capture the Predator.
Yeah, you lost me.
What was that guy's name? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm horrible with names. This guy's name, Gary Busey. Yeah, he was in the movie.
Okay, yeah.
Gary Busey. But it was a pretty good movie. Again, great with the characters. The werewolf effects were actually decent. Just in twist on who the werewolf was, and I do like the fact Stephen King kind of stretched into the like werewolf genre, because if you look at most of his stuff, it's like original stuff. It's not like he goes into like the tropes. He had the Rose Red, which is like the haunted house. Silver Bullet, which is a werewolf. But I don't like. You remember if he did like any vampires or witches or ghosts? What ghosts and Rose Red would count? But like anything like that, demons. I don't know. But that was like a pretty good one. If you haven't seen Creepshow, he had a little story in there too.
And I saw, I think, the first Creepshow. I think. Did
you see his story where he was actually acting in it?
No, I don't think.
He was this like redneck, backwaters redneck, standing in the cabin in the woods. A meteor hit his property. He went out, got the meteor. He messed up and touched it, and he burned his 2 fingers. So after trying to sell it or whatever, I don't know if he sold it. I don't think he did. He might have. No, he was. Did he? No, he ended on selling it because it was kind of goofy. But what he started noticing was grass started growing like around where the meteor landed. Like just all this weird grass and weeds and stuff. And then it started growing out of his fingers. So as it progresses, stuff keeps growing and keeps growing. And it was like even with him, it started growing all over him. Then by the end of it, a guy just covered in grass and stuff. And then like
hold up. I do remember that. I do remember that. What was it called? Because it
I don't know. It was on Creepshow. It was one of those episodes.
It was on Creepshow. I'm sorry, I got a little excited, but I do remember that because when you said he burned his 2 fingers, and I'm like, it started growing and growing. I'm like, I remember that because, of course, my daddy had to bring it home, and we watched it.
Okay, he wrote 2 stories.
Yeah.
I don't say which one he wrote though. Huh.
Let's see.
It's Creepshow 2. Creepshow 2. I think. But anyways, that one was pretty cool. I don't know what the second one is because we're getting into it, trying to figure out who. Yeah, The Lonesome Road. The Lonesome Death of Joy.
Yes, that's the first one.
Okay, yeah, so that's the first one. So I like that. It was dark humor and everything. It was pretty cool.
Okay. How about a little something more recent besides it that we both seen, which is also a work of Stephen King, Gerald's Game.
That was a good movie, very good, and I loved the way that I loved like the different levels of it. Not only was it playing on some issues that she had to deal with from the past because it's symbolic about her life, but I like that the whole thing that was going on in her head where she saw herself and she saw her dead husband, and herself was trying to help her survive, and her husband was like, "Just get on up, baby. Just get on up." He just kept
creepy looking man, but he thought that she was a figment of his imagination.
And I liked how they played that because she thought that was a figment of her imagination.
Right.
Turns out the guy was actually real.
Right. Creepy.
Will admit that I didn't like was the fact that she left that gate open. They left that door open. They left whatever it was open, and that's how that dog got in that house.
Yeah.
But it was like nobody in their right mind would leave that open.
Okay. Yeah.
But and then they had that one scene where that was kind of hard to watch.
What about the hand?
Yes, that's like the one thing I keep remembering from the movie.
Okay, the fact that
How did it die?
I'm talking about all the skin came off is kind of okay. I understand she had to cut herself and let it bleed. Yeah, blood is slick. Your hand. Now, if the gash wasn't like that, or if there wasn't like things around, it should not have pulled all of her hand skin.
Yeah, because it was that tight.
Okay, come on, she could have worked it out somehow.
Yeah, she did. She worked it out, and the skin came off.
Okay,
that shit was gross.
Okay, that was kind of hard to watch. But
yeah, that was kind of hard to watch, but it was still a good movie. Like next time I ever see that movie, I might skip that part. It's like, oh, she's about to cut that hand. Chapter skip.
Yeah, it's on Netflix, though, y'all.
Yeah, that was a good movie. That was actually a really good movie.
Okay, what do we have time for?
Oh, we got plenty of time. 1408. Love that movie.
But I barely remember.
Oh, I love it. It had some dark humor in it too, especially and it was messed up. Like it had some pretty funny bits to it. Like when he's in it and all this stuff is kind of starting to happen, he's like, I ain't got nothing. I'm all right, straight. I'm just tripping. And then when he burned his hand, he like, I gotta get the hell up out of here. And then that's when everything started hitting the fan. Mm-hmm. And then the way that they shot like some of the sequences, like a lot of the stuff that they did was pretty cool. Like, what was it? Mm-hmm. He was looking through the window across the street, mm-hmm. and he was trying to wave to him. And then he started realizing that they were copying his movement.
Yeah.
Badass. Then he tried to climb out, and then he looked over and realized like there was no windows. It was like nothing but wall. And like the wall like stretched forever. Mm-hmm. But the most messed up one was the part with his daughter.
Oh yeah, I think I don't want to say it. I don't want to lie.
Yeah, his daughter's been dead, so because he had his recorder on. His daughter shows up in there, talking to him. And he's crying, and then he ends up holding her, and she dies again in his arms. And it was like messed up. And I did watch the endings, and the second ending I didn't like, but the first ending that came with the movie I actually survived.
Okay.
So that was that. That was actually a great movie. And then, like I said, if you're looking for a good haunted house type movie, watch, because it was new. It did a lot of great stuff, a lot of creative stuff that you don't see in haunted house movies like that. So, a haunted room, 1408. Like he had a good reason to be there. He had a good reason he couldn't leave and all that. You ever see the movie Sleepwalkers? No. It's been a while. I remember it was a girl that ended up falling for this guy, and the guy was part of this some kind of cat creature. Him and his mom. There was one part you seen them boning.
Oh.
But one of the most standout sequences, and for some reason they had a whole bunch of cats around the house. I remember they had traps and stuff for them. A whole bunch of cats just surrounding their house. And one sequence that I do remember is the dude ended up getting into like a car chase with the cops. Mm-hmm. And what he did was somehow he got far off ahead. He had like a red car or a blue car, and he got far over the head, and then he ended up pulling over to the side or something, and he made it to where the car cloaked itself. It was like went invisible, and then a cop car passed him up, and then he like took the shield down or something like that, and then he changed the color. Like the color literally, like it changed from like blue to red. Either if it wasn't just the color changed, it was the color and the car type change. something like that. And I was like, okay, that was pretty cool. Like that was, and somehow those two could suck the life out of people. They're like, hover over you with their mouth open, and they'll just suck your soul out of your life essence out through your mouth. Do remember. Been such a long time. I do need to go back. I'm gonna sit here and talk about this movie. I ain't seen the movie in like 20 years.
Yeah, okay. And also another one of his works. I'm not gonna discuss any of it because it was like a series loosely based on the Stephen King novel, The Colorado Kid. Is Haven, but I will be doing that in another video. Okay. Maybe I'll be by myself if I can get up. So cheer me on, you guys. I know I can do this. Yes, I saw Haven. It was, well, anyway.
I saw probably like what?
Okay. Anything else? What else?
Children of the Corn. Finally saw the first one. Not too long ago. Thought it was all right. Oh, I'm like, this boy is crazy. The ending was messed up. But the one thing I didn't like about it, I didn't like the guy because he was like trying too hard for them to get killed. Cause you think about it, look what he did. They hit the kid. The woman was like, "Let's go. We're out in the middle of nowhere. Nobody's gonna know what happened." He took the kid. Went to go took the kid to the that's 2009 one.
Okay, so which one are you talking about?
The original.
Okay.
So the dude was like, "Okay, we're gonna go into town with this kid, dead body. Tell him what happened." And then she's like, "Let's get out of here because you don't see nobody." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's a pretty good sign. You don't see nobody." What did he literally do? He said, "I'm going to go look around." Took the keys out the car, and then went to go search. And
I mean, they got a good meaning of them.
Yeah, so that don't mean they're good.
So you're talking about
the
very first one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then him doing that got the lady killed, and then turn around and basically got him killed. And the one thing I didn't like about it was just one sequence where they're chasing him through the cornfield, and I guess he was in the military before that. So while he's in the cornfield trying to hide from him, that he's having this like weird PTSD moment where it's like he's back in the war and stuff, and it was like switching. Them kids or whatever, because they were being going around killing people. Ooh, Linda Hamilton. Woohoo! I don't remember her in that movie.
That's because you're not talking about. Yeah, you're talking about the other version. If you were talking about the very first one, the 1984 film, we're trying to talk about, but you didn't.
Which one am I talking about then?
I'm like, I wonder when you gonna realize.
Which one are they talking about?
Yeah. He who walks behind the rose.
Which I hate the fact you never see who it is.
Let's see. Okay, let's see. Are you talking about this one? Let's see.
Nah, that's Bert. Not it.
His name was Bert, though.
I wish I had.
Okay, maybe. Starring Peter Horton, Linda Hamilton.
Yeah, Linda Hamilton wasn't in. It was that one half-breed chick. Watch it. The chick that looks like Rihanna.
That's okay. Yeah.
You got the lights, that light eyes.
You and the faces you place with these people. No, not Rihanna.
Yep, looks like Rihanna. Candace McClure. Tell me that look like Rihanna.
Anyway.
Yeah.
That's the one you were talking about. And what version is that?
Okay, that's the 2009 version.
Which I was on. And
sorry.
What did you say?
I'm sorry.
What did you say?
I really don't know what I said.
You said, "No, that's not it."
I talking like that. Nah, that's not it, baby. Oh man. So yeah, it's the 2009 one that I saw. Never mind. I thought that was pretty cool, but then again, like I said, I didn't like the fact that that guy was like, "Gotta do this, you gotta do this." And it's like, dude, you deliberately making decisions to get your.
And the woman, she all peaches and cream either. No.
I didn't like neither one of them, but then when she started talking sense about them needing to leave and all of that, I'm like, dude, what your girl saying makes sense. What are you doing? Take the keys out the car. What kind of crap is that? Saying if they went into town and when they met somebody and they went to go talk to that person, then they came back out and the keys were missing or the tire was flat.
They saw nobody in that town.
They should have kept going. It made no sense what was going on. I haven't really seen any of the other Children of the Corns. I think I did see one because I remember that was in like a mental institution or something. And she took a puff of a cigarette, and then like her whole mouth burst into flames.
Okay.
And I think in this one they actually showed that whole "he who walks behind the rose" because at the end of it, demon or something showed up, and you actually saw it. And it looked like crap, but I do remember that lady was like took the puff of that cigarette, and her mouth just burst into flames. I was like, gosh. And she was, ah! Of course, we got to bring in a classic called Thinner. Thinner was awesome.
Okay, yeah.
That was a great movie. We saw Dreamcatcher.
Understand it, and so I couldn't like it.
It was all right. The characters were like really unbalanced.
Okay, at the end, what the boy turned into.
He turned into one of them. See, I went back and read up on the aliens.
Okay.
The aliens, he was the other type. The reason why we saw the big gray alien thing,
yeah.
Aliens, that's how they present themselves to people. Something like that. I read up on it because I wanted to see. No, the second type are actually the gray. Are actually the gray ones. The one that looks like the gray ones.
No, it kept saying it's the game.
I just read up on it like 2 days ago because I wanted to read what they were called. Read up on them. I'll read up on them again, but it was something like that. Even like with the fungus, if you get the fungus doesn't kill you. What kills you is if you ingest it.
Okay, so how do you explain that man? Oh, he ate them berries. What did he eat? All that his stomach was doing. All that?
Yeah. They said the fungus will grow on you or whatever. That's not fatal. That's it. Yeah, because that's when that parasite gets in you, and it grows. I didn't like the fact that like the characters, they were like unbalanced. All of them had psychic powers. Only one of them had psychic powers that was actually worth a damn. Olifat's character, and this dude actually, and he got 8. So I didn't like the whole thing where Morgan Freeman was flying in his helicopter and had this one-off thing with his former lieutenant guy.
Yeah, it was kind of.
That was definitely like a Hollywood thing. I was like, so you killed off one decent character, and then the bad guy got his in the lamest way possible. So he shot the plane, the helicopter. Helicopter crashes. That's it for Morgan Freeman character. You're like, wow, that's it. And then he got shot in the process. I'm like, oh my gosh, really? I mean, it was an interesting movie, and I do want to go back and possibly read the book to see how things go with that. The Running Man, seen it, loved it. There is some stuff about it that don't make no sense. Graveyard Shift. I watched that.
That's about the rats, isn't it?
Yeah, with that big old rat thing. What was the giant bat?
I thought they were rats.
No, it was one big one.
At the end?
No, it was like killing them off, kind of like throughout the movie. I don't know if it was a rat or a bat.
Yeah, in it, it was years ago when we were little. The only thing that I remember,
yep, giant bat.
Giant. Maybe it's not what I remember, because what?
I'm good.
What, at the end, wasn't it all the one who came to?
I mean, I know it had something to do with rats and stuff.
Maybe I'm talking about another movie. Okay, my bad. I think I'm talking about another movie.
Oh man, well, it's about that time. Well, anyways, guys, we greatly appreciate you for just coming with us on this journey. We're talking about the best and worst films by Stephen King. Although pretty much like 95% of what we, like 96% of what we said was actually best.
I mean, we gave our little aunts and aunts, but you know, we kind of stumbled and fumbled, but we got ourselves back up.
So yeah, so you heard what we thought about the best and worst Stephen King movies, and might end up revisiting this subject with Ken or maybe Zach in the future. But anyways, guys, in the comment section below, let us know what movies are your favorites of Stephen King films, and which ones are your least favorites. And be sure to hit that like, share, subscribe, and that notification button to get the best of what's going on this channel. And guys, I'm happy to say we got 2 more episodes before we hit that 100 mark, and we're gonna do, with 100 videos.
That's what we're gonna do. What he just did.
We're like, that don't look right. Actually, you're like, no. But anyways, no. But we'll try to find a pretty good topic to talk about for the 100th, our 100th video. But anyways, guys, we'll catch you guys later. Narik crew. Say Narik and crew. We're out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Narik and crew. We're out of here.